to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll, please.
Trustee Guyer.
Here.
Trustee Spurling. Trustee Lee.
Here.
Trustee Betzinger. Trustee Youngerman.
Here.
Trustee Marisak.
Here. All right, we do have a quorum this evening. Teresa will be here in a moment. All right, move on to public participation. The first item is the 2-minute opportunity for any member of the public. Go ahead. I know Shar signed up, so I'll let you roll first.
Good evening. Thank you, everybody. I just had 2 announcements I wanted to make. The first one has to do with Dr. Neil Schlupp. His party was on Saturday, so I thank everybody who had the opportunity to come. He had a receiving line that went for 3 hours straight, so I know there was a lot going on, that everybody was able to make it, but we had hundreds and hundreds of people. So after 33 years, he's finally going to say goodbye, at least part-time, I guess. He may come back to assist Dr. Jess in the future when she's taking vacations and stuff. But I just wanted to mention that because for some reason it never got to the paper. And I don't know if that was because it's taken him so long to say goodbye. But, and I also want to thank Public Works for their help. They were very helpful, just getting some things taken care of that I couldn't do by myself. So thank you, everybody, for that. The other thing is just I wanted to announce and remind everybody, if you're not signed up, the MEDC golf outing is on Thursday, and we have 106 golfers signed up and another 10 for dinner. So that's the best we've ever had. We have some great raffle prizes, and hopefully, if you're not able to golf, maybe you could just stop by and have dinner with us.
What time does it start?
So, thank you, Steve. You need to be there at 10 for me.
Okay.
But actually, shotgun is at 11:30, and we're usually done by 5:30. So as soon as the first round of golfers come in, the steaks come off the grill. So everything is included: lunch, dinner, drinks, snacks, you name it. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
My name is Nancy Curran, and I'm not on the agenda. I just found out yesterday, or I should say early this morning, that Ryan Homes are building the exact same style home that they built in Huntington Chase. I have a concern because they provided a 10-year warranty under Kimball Hill name and didn't follow through with the warranty as far as I understand. Maybe there is still some legal aspect. I ask for your assistance with that because I wasn't aware that I could ask for that. The other thing is that the new home right next to my home, built by Leonard Construction, has a higher grade than my house, and water is like a river runs through it at the back of the property. So I'm concerned about the grade level. So I asked for the board's help with that.
Nancy, what's your address?
Pardon?
What's your address?
3265 Thomas Lane, Montgomery, 60538.
Awesome. So
So I did
Go
talk,
ahead.
Mr. President, I did talk to Nancy before the meeting started, so we'll check out the permit that's been issued for the home next to hers and work with the village engineer to make sure that the drainage is approved in a proper fashion and see what kind of conditions exist. I'm not aware of this problem yet, so we'll take a look at it tomorrow and
okay.
get back to the
Okay,
property owner.
thank you.
Awesome.
Want to know?
And Rich has your contact information, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to make sure she gets taken care of on the leveling, because I bought a house too. Actually, they're both older houses, but the neighbor turned around and decided to re-landscape. and he put the landscaping right down in a tri-level next to my window. And all the water came down every rain, went right in my basement. And at that time, there's another village engineer, Pete, you weren't the engineer, this was many years ago, and that guy said, I can't do anything about it. And I just blew up, because I said, according to the ordinances, you cannot change the whole level of the land, I'm sure. And that's what really, and I can understand some of these people with the newer houses now going next to them. That is the problem, because you got a different builder. And they don't think of that, but it's a major problem in neighborhoods.
Regardless of whether it's a different builder or not, it doesn't change our requirements in terms of how the grading can take place. So we'll definitely get into it and see what the situation is.
I just want to add, my house is currently for sale as well, so it does affect not
Sure.
just me, but current buyers.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Okay.
and we'll look at this pretty quick. And I hear what you're saying, and I can ensure that the newer subdivisions are designed to really prevent that from happening. So we'll look into that, and we'll definitely get back to you, hopefully this week, because I see that being a hot button issue. All right, is there any other member of the public wishing to address the board? Okay, move on to item B, which is Brad from the Sugar Grove Library Board. I don't see Brad here this evening, but I didn't want to skip over in case he was hiding. All right, so we'll move on. If there isn't any objection on item C, would like to entertain a motion to approve the proclamation for Arbor Day.
So moved.
Second?
Call the roll.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Guyer.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling. Trustee Lee.
Yes.
All right, and same goes for item D, which is proclamation of Constitution Week.
So moved.
Second.
Go ahead.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Guyer.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling. Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
I will say, though, the Arbor Day proclamation is the fanciest one we've ever done, so. All right, thank you.
Can Dan just mention what he's gonna do that day?
Yes.
Excuse me. So it's September 21st, that's at the police department by the silo. And what we're going to do this year is we're going to plant a tree on the right-of-way. There's one missing in the lineup of trees there. Our arborist, Ed Paff, is working on a design for around the silo for future plantings. He anticipates probably about 20 trees will be accommodated in that area, and then down the road, probably some benches. So after we have that plan developed, Arbor Day is in April, so in April of 2020, we'll announce the date then, and then we'll plant a tree according to the plan that Ed comes up with. So this should take us 20 years into the future, once we get this rolling.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to the consent. I'll read the items, entertain a motion for approval. Minutes of the village board meeting of August 26th, the building report for August of 2019, accounts payable through September 5th, 2019, cancellation of the September 17th committee of the whole meeting, and ordinance 1864, approving a final plat in the Ogden Hill Commercial Subdivision. That's inland, and that's our second reading. We discussed that at the last meeting. And then item F is ordinance 1865, amending chapter 16 and a half of the village code. This is regarding raffles and is second reading as well. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Go ahead.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Guyer.
Yes.
All right, that carries 5-0. Thank you. Under items for separate action this evening, we have the jurisdictional boundary line agreement with the city of Aurora and the village of Montgomery. And I assume it's Rich. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Before you tonight is the boundary agreement that has lapsed for a number of years. We've been working with the city of Aurora literally for a number of years to try to reenact the boundary agreement between the city of Aurora and the village. This is a 20-year agreement that sets the boundaries. At your station, I gave you larger copies of the boundary agreement line itself, and then a map that outlines some shared road maintenance information on an aerial. Basically, what that second exhibit shows is where the village would maintain some of the common streets that are adjacent to Aurora, and where Aurora would maintain some of the common streets that are adjacent to the village. So the boundary line itself is essentially the same as it had been previously. The important part for the village is to maintain the ability to go into our planning boundary and have future development primarily on the west side of the village as you look at the map and the areas that are undeveloped south of Jericho Road out to Row 47. Within the agreement itself, it outlines a number of different things, including the ability for Aurora to construct a shallow well that's at their well house number 23, which is actually just south of Jericho Road, where they currently have a well location. It's just to the west of their community garden area that's in the, kind of on the outskirts of the Fox Valley Park District property. That's actually a site that is already part of the city. It talks about 50/50 share on some of the roadways that are adjacent to the two community boundaries. Again, it talks about Edgelawn as the right-of-way, excuse me, the right-of-way near Edgelawn and Jericho Road going, and this has been in the plans for a number of years when AU came in with their project to de-annex a part of that right-of-way to go to the city of Aurora, so that that property, that right-of-way, it's kind of a patchwork along Jericho Road where there's a portion of it in the village and a portion of it out of the village and some in Aurora. I don't have a very good exhibit for that, I apologize, but anyway, this squares up the right-of-way for the city to take over. Talks about future construction of a continuous path, both in the village and in the city of Aurora along Edgelawn Drive. When we look at Edgelawn Extended, this is the service drive now that's on the far west side of the AU Sports Complex, but we anticipate someday that Edgelawn would continue across the tracks and make its way all the way down to Nell Road Extended and link up to Alcott also, ultimately. Again, it talks about a 20-year agreement, and that's kind of the highlights. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer.
Any questions?
What is, what's this parcel here?
That is a subdivision. No, I'm sorry, that,
Right now, it looks like open land according to this, but I don't know.
that's a quarry, or was a quarry, and now it's a stormwater detention facility.
It's just an abandoned, it's an unused quarry. It's
Yeah.
being used as a fishing lake right now.
Okay.
It's right next to, it's just west of Lucky 50s.
That's right. Yeah, and the city owns that, I think, that parcel.
Yes.
Yeah. It's immediately adjacent to the athletic.
Yeah, it's on the east side of the AU Athletic Complex,
Okay.
but it is owned by the city of Aurora.
Going back to your other exhibit, who owns and maintains the Ashland Bridge?
Yeah,
That was a court decision or something before, right? But we own and maintain west of there,
Ashland Bridge is right here, right?
and Aurora will take east? Is that how that works? All right.
and one of the other exhibits that I didn't enlarge, but it's readable in your packet, talks about very specifically the maintenance responsibilities for the two communities. by street name and sections. That's the very last item in this packet.
All right. Any other questions for staff? So this one goes for 20 years, so you can start negotiating this one in 5 years or so. It's good to have on, it really is good to have on record here, so I appreciate you pushing forward on it.
I have a quick question. At
Yeah.
what point does it become the line with Sugar Grove?
The, it's about where you just drawn there.
Okay.
I don't think it goes as far east, but there's a line, there's a boundary agreement between Sugar Grove and Aurora that's located north of Jericho Road, basically between where Barnes is and Route 47. But I can give you that, I don't
Okay.
have that map with me tonight, but that's a specific,
Yeah, I mean,
Exhibit.
you know how I feel on the Sugar Grove boundary agreement, but Aurora's fine.
Okay. No other questions for staff? Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Second.
Go ahead.
Okay. Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Guyer.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
All right, and that carries.
thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, items for discussion. The only item tonight is our quarterly financial report. Justin?
No?
There you go.
Okay. Thank you, President Raleigh. As of July 31st, we're through 25% of fiscal year 2020. Wanted to provide the board with an update of where the financials are for this fiscal year. We only looked at a few funds: general, capital improvement, infrastructure improvement, and then water. I will go through a few select items here. I'm not going to read the entire report, but sales tax is coming in approximately where we budgeted. We did get the second disbursement for this fiscal year for June. Will be in our accounts tomorrow. So you can see the budget, $4,795,000, and with the June numbers going in, the projection is actually increased over $4.8 million. Property taxes, as you can see, typically we get the large disbursements from the counties in June and September. Just over 50% so far this year. State income tax, we get our numbers from Illinois Municipal League. As such, they have increased the number from $98.50 per capita to $106.30. So we're expecting to be over $150,000 higher in fiscal year 20. Moving down to capital improvement fund. Electric utility tax is coming in just a little bit under where we expected it to be, as well as natural gas utility tax. A lot of the, as you can see by the graph, a lot of the natural gas tax is paid in the winter months, and so that may change our projection when it gets to that point. Telecommunications utility tax continues to decrease. This is not just something that Montgomery has seen. It's being seen across all municipalities
Do you know why?
because people keep getting rid of their landlines and they just have cell phones. So infrastructure improvement fund, which is on page 4. We, for non-home rule sales tax, it is coming in lower than we had expected. Some of that may be applicable to the 1.5% fee that the state is still taking, but I tried to include that in the projections, so hoping to see that number go back up, if you will, and so we'll keep, staff will keep an eye on that. Moving on to, actually, do want to point out on the bottom of page 4, we had budgeted roughly $240,000 in investment income through July. We're already over 100,000 in interest, over 40%, when July is only 25% through the year, so. Pages 5 through 8 show the balances in the village's bank accounts as well as investment accounts. There is a separate item down at the bottom of page 6 where it talks about cash and investments held for others. I'd like to separate those out so the board sees that that's not something that the village has for us, it's for other people, so. And then page 7 and page 8 just show the details of investments that we hold at various banks. If there's any questions, I can certainly answer those at this time. Thank you.
We haven't had any problems with any of these on page 8, have we?
No, we haven't had any problems with any of them. They are all US banks, despite, I mean, some of them talk about like the State Bank of India, or they are all United States banks. They're all insured by the FDIC, and we make sure that if you, as you can see, the $120,000 investments, we make sure that we don't go above 240 because of that interest that's going to be added on there. We don't want to hit over $250,000, so we're even thinking about the interest earned.
This is part of that tiered portfolio practice that you talked about and put into place a few years ago.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And as you can see, the maturity dates, they range anywhere from August of 19, which is already matured, all the way down to June of 2024.
Okay.
One last question on those utility tax bills. We did get rid of that company that found some of the mistakes. I think you said you were going to have it gone by February. That company's no longer doing it, right?
They are no longer receiving any funds from us.
Okay.
I know that you were starting to look into the additional MFT dollars that we would get. Have you guys quantified that or looked into that a little bit?
Roughly, we're looking at approximately a 50% increase. So as of right now, IML is projecting $25.35 right now. Once that other tax is added and starts to be dispersed, we're looking at that instead of $25.35, it will be somewhere in the neighborhood of $37 to $38 per capita.
I get you. Okay. And when will we start getting that?
We don't know yet. It could actually be as early as this month. We haven't received the MFT disbursement for August in September yet. But it could also be October.
Okay.
It's supposed to be either September or October.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right, if you have any other questions for Justin on the financials, you know where he sits. All right, let's move on. Anything new or unfinished?
I've got a couple items, if I may.
You may.
Teresa, do you have any? No. Okay. Earlier this week, a resident of the Balmorhea subdivision had called me about muskrats in the detention basins. and they're causing some damage. As I remember, if I remember correctly, our contract with Pizzo includes muskrat removal and relocation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Can you get on them to get that done?
Yeah, typically they only do the muskrat trapping in the fall. That's in order to utilize, the funding so that they can do a large area at once. If we do it sporadically throughout the year, it's more costly for the trapper. The trapper is not, is a subcontractor of Pizzo. So,
When-
but I can definitely reach out to them and get a schedule on when they will be in, because they typically do that in the fall.
Please. And when they're relocated at a far enough distance away. It's not like right across the street where they're just coming
They're
back.
not relocated.
Okay.
It's not a relocated trap system.
My second item, just an update on the Route 30 roadway improvements or the interim roadway improvements. Do we know when those things are gonna happen? Rich and I have talked about this a little bit, but just for public knowledge, because people are asking me about that as well.
Kane County is working on the design for a interim improvement. They have submitted for a CMAQ grant. I don't know what the status of the grant is, but my understanding is if they are awarded the grant, they would construct those interim improvements. I don't have a specific timeline, but I can try to get that for you.
And any updates on the Galena Concord light?
Yes, the mast arms are installed, and it should be energized either next week or the following week.
Actually in use?
Yes.
Very good, thank you. That's it.
Just wanted to mention the VFW ran their first annual My Kind of Race, 0.1K yesterday. It was pretty well attended. It was a lot of fun. Actually did it in the a little bit of drizzle that was going on, and then some of the older folks, World War II veterans, did it inside because they had measured it off in case of rain. So it went really well, and it was nice to see the VFW trying to engage the community a little bit and get some participation. So it was great.
I just have one thing that Wednesday night, I took a lot of flack from different people, but Thursday after the game, by the way, I'm wearing my shirt, Green Bay. I didn't hear any of you call me Friday and tell me how good Green Bay looked. They didn't look real good, but the score, we won. So I just want to throw that at you.
They didn't look good, they looked lucky.
They looked better in Cleveland, but that's all right.
You gotta go there.
So with that, I would like to formally object to Denny's shirt, and we'll go ahead and move on. We have intergovernmental 2 weeks from tonight upstairs at 6 o'clock, next village board meeting in this room, in 2 weeks at 7 PM. With that, we'll move into executive session, or entertain a motion to move into executive session to discuss the minutes, and we'll be reporting back afterwards.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Guyer.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling. Yes. Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so I'll call the meeting back to order. Items for separate action, we have the report on the closed session minutes. The two items that the board discussed that we would be voting on to release. Debbie, would you state those for the record?
Yes, it's item B in the March 22nd, 2019 minutes, and item A in the June 10th, 2019 minutes.
Excellent.
Was it March 25th or March 22nd or 25th?
25th.
25th, yeah, okay.
All right,
So moved.
call the roll, please.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Guyer.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling.
Yes.
Trustee Lee.
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes,
All right, and that carries. And then the last item, a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second.
Trustee Youngerman.
Yes.
Trustee Marisak.
Yes.
Trustee Guyer.
Yes.
Trustee Spurling. Trustee Lee.
And we're adjourned. Thank you.